Okay, we're live.
All right. Hey, everybody. It is day 3 of our 7-day Just Juice Worldwide Juice Cleanse, and we are here today with a super special guest. We are so excited that you've been joining us all week long. And for those of you just hopping in that aren't part of our 7-day program, you can still join us. But the bottom line is we've been juicing using Just Juices for the last 3 days. So Noah and Ari and myself, we're all pumped up on green juice and all kinds of other good things. I even brought some celery with me to the show today. But we're so excited because our special guest today, he's an expert in juicing, but really he is someone who has been able to use juice as a catalyst to change his own life, along with other healthy lifestyle things. And he'll share a little bit about that with you today. It's Jonny Juicer, and he is here live from California on our call today. Say hi, Jonny.
How you doing? Thanks for having me. It's awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with Jonny, I met this guy a little while back, and I don't even know if he remembers when we first met, but it's so funny because see, there's the face. It's so funny because, when you hear about somebody doing something really good and you hear about it from friends in the community, they're really onto something. And I feel like this guy really walks his talk. He's a genuine person when it comes to health and wellness, and he's really here to share some well-researched things that he's knowledgeable about. I know the Sprout brothers and I are super excited to have him here. Noah and Ari, what are you most excited about tonight to hear from Jonny?
Well, I just love his use of, I want to hear some of his favorite recipes, and I've been seeing he's been doing this cane juice thing on Instagram, so I want to hear a little bit about that because I love cane juice. But I mean, finishing a juice cleanse on cane juice sounds fascinating. So
Totally.
I want to hear about that. But I love how you inspire people, man. So I want to hear.
Yeah, you're powered by juice. You're working out. You're living your life, and you're on juice power. So
Yeah, and so you're a good. I mean, it's no wonder people find you inspirational because you're the real deal, man. And so yeah, I love to hear it from you personally and share it with our audience. So yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So if you haven't connected with Jonny yet, you can stay up to date with him on Instagram. He is all over the place, all over the country, running around with his Green Star juicer, juicing it up for people and sharing with people how to use these juicing protocols. So you want to get connected to his Instagram at Jonny Juicer, connected to his website too. You can learn more about what he's up to, just really doing it and living it every day. And with that being said, it was a quick intro, Jonny, but we're so excited to have you here. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your juicing testimonial, what juicing did for you. Everyone that's on our 7-day program is having a different experience right now with juice. Some of them are like, yes, let's do this, posting pictures at the gym, really being able to do extra things. And, some of us are tired and we're kind of not really sure if we should be continuing on for 7 days. So tell us a little bit about what you've learned from juicing and who you are and why all this matters so much.
Yeah. So I'll just basically talk about my journey. I mean, it started roughly 5 years ago, and up until that point, I mean, I had severe migraines all my life. I was diagnosed with IBS in high school. I was going for colonoscopies. I went for 2 different colonoscopies, one in 8th grade, which is like unheard of, and then in high school. And I also was lactose intolerant. And my problems progressively got worse after I got out of high school because I wasn't eating mama's home cooking no more, because I come from an Italian background, so she was always cooking. But I started eating out. I started going to McDonald's. I was going to the gym, and I thought that was healthy. I'd be at the gym for like an hour and a half. I was pretty active. I played basketball in high school, so healthy to me was just being active at the gym. But I would go to the gym and then go to Denny's with the guys afterwards, or Taco Bell. And on top of all my problems, I started once I turned 21, going out partying with my friends. So on top of all the problems I was having and popping pills and drinking, it was just a downward spiral. So again, up until 5 years ago, I stumbled upon Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And that's where everything changed. I'll never forget, I was actually eating a deep dish pizza because, in Chicago, that's what Chicago's known for, their deep dish pizza. And I was eating it, and I'm like, and I was always into documentaries, but that documentary in particular, I totally resonated with because I was like, I'm not really getting enough raw fruits and vegetables at all. If anything, it's like a little iceberg salad with a couple, cherry tomatoes on it, maybe a couple slices of cucumber, and then this ranch dressing. So I watched the documentary. There was a woman in there who, was able to, it helped her migraines. And I immediately the next day actually bought the same juicer from the documentary, the Breville Elite, and started juicing all weekend, throwing all types of stuff in there. And I decided to try to do a 3-day juice cleanse. And what happened was after the first day, I went to Culver's and I got a cheeseburger. I'm like, I can't do this. This is too tough. And I just kind of let the juicer collect dust for a few more months. And then when New Year's started, that's when I finally was like, all right, I got to put my foot down. I'm tired of taking pills. I'm tired of feeling like crap. I was, 70 pounds heavier. And what I did was I completed a 3-day juice cleanse I saw online. It was a Joe Cross and Dr. Joel Furman 3-day cleanse. And I completed it. And from then on, what I started doing was just incorporating a 32-ounce green juice every day, which I found is roughly between 12 and 15 servings of raw vegetables. Who's getting that many raw vegetables, in one sitting? So, and just basically over time, what happened was it started changing my palate. I went vegetarian. I eventually went vegan, got into raw living foods, and juicing has just been a staple ever since. And I think it's one of the most powerful tools in modern technology just to help people get healthier, If there's a place to go. I mean, it's easy to tell somebody you got to start eating more raw fruits and vegetables, but if our palate's not ready for that, I think that juicing is a great tool. You can throw all your grains in, throw a little apple to sweeten it, and boom, cheating the whole process.
Well, I mean, I really register and resonate with your story so much because, raw foods changed my life completely, probably around a similar age range. I was 19 and I had been just dealing with so much pain in my body around food and digestion, and raw food and juicing was a huge part of healing my body. And after that, I became super passionate about sharing it with people like yourself. And it's so cool because what you are sharing is something so simple. Anyone can start doing that. You don't have to have a top of the line juicer to start juicing and getting the benefits of juice. So in your mind, if someone wants to start juicing and they just want to start simply, what do you recommend for them to do each day?
Well, it's like you said, actually, it's getting a juicer is number one, right? And I kind of argue a little bit what you just said because my mom had a Jack LaLanne juicer and she hated it. And it was like a terrible experience, terrible to clean. And then once she started getting I believe it was a Breville, it was a little bit better and it helped her to do it every day. But now we have apps like OfferUp, we have Craigslist, and there's so many people, I always talk about this. Like if I went on it right now, you can find it, or you can go to a thrift store or a Goodwill, and you might find a really good juicer really cheap. Somebody that just got married a couple of years ago, it's just sitting in the closet, they want to sell it. I mean, you'd be surprised. I know a lot of people who have gotten really good juicers, good friends of mine in Florida right now, just got a really good juicer at a thrift store. So first thing is you got to buy a juicer. So get a good juicer. And then, I know a lot of people are like, how do I start? It's expensive, but you can buy carrots. You could buy a 2.5 pound bag of carrots for $1.99 and juice yourself, 20 ounces of carrot juice. You could do celery juice. You could do, there's so many different things you can do. But my thing that I advocate is you got to do it daily, incorporate it every day until you get to a point where you want to be, I've always said one thing that I kind of took away from the documentary was I don't believe in just doing like a reset, like doing a juice cleanse. I do now at this point in my life, but for somebody that's trying to get into it, I feel like you should do it to help transition to eating healthier when you get off of it, eating more plant-based, eating whatever it is you're trying to do. Because I'm sure 7 to 10 days in, your taste buds almost like reset. It's not like you're going to be craving stuff. When I do extended fast, I'm craving like a apple or some grapes or something very simple. So use it as a tool to when you get off of it to kind of have a plan or a guideline. Go, okay, I want to eat more plant-based. I want to eat vegetarian. I want to eat vegan or even raw food. I hope did that answer a little bit or?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, that resonates with we have a friend with a frozen wheatgrass company that we sell this, and their minimum is 50-day supply because they said, look, we don't want to get this into your life. You're not going to keep up with it for less than 50 days.
Right.
Well, and kind of what you're talking about too is an approach where it's like start with what works for you. You know, I think, you know, we're in different places. You know, the Sprout brothers are hanging out in Massachusetts today. We're in California, and we've got friends all across the country and internationally on this program. And you may have different technology and different fruits and vegetables available to you when you're in different places in the world. And it doesn't mean you can't get started with the same simple ideas. So I think that's a big part of what we're all sharing here together. Sprout Brothers, do you guys see anybody joining us from anywhere in particular live today?
We've got a bunch of people live, and Monique says hello, and no other comments than that. So by the way, anyone who's watching now, leave your comments here. We're going to have a Q&A section coming up very soon. We will relay your question over to Jonny, and we'll get to hear his answer.
Yeah. So actually, Monique said her husband bought the Jack LaLanne juicer in the marriage, brought it into the marriage, and it's a beast. Which yeah, and I've cleaned a couple of Jack LaLannes too. They're something.
Well, a lot of times what people don't realize with juicing technology, and I have the Green Star here. I brought that today because I was juicing my green juice in this earlier today. It was already hanging out. You know, I'm in the TriBest test kitchen today, and you know, a nice thing about a slow cold press like this is it's not ripping your produce apart. It's just slowly masticating and pressing the juice, which makes the cleanup so much easier. If you think about the sheer force that goes through a centrifugal juicer, you know, you just have pieces and fibers everywhere. So when people are used to cleaning that and they're thinking about upgrading their juicer, I know you get a little bit nervous. Well, how hard is it going to be to clean? And actually, you know, the better the technology, the easier it should be to clean. So that's something to know about juicers and juicing. And I had another question for Jonny. I know you kind of talked about the 3-day reset that you started with, and certainly adding daily juice is super important. Have you ever done any longer extended juice fasts before? And what was your experience with that?
Yeah, this is actually one of the shortest ones I've done, again, because I'm going to be traveling a lot in January. So this is actually one of the shortest ones I've done. Last year I did a 30-day. The year before I did a 40-day. I believe when the second year I got into juicing, I did a 21-day. So especially I was in Chicago, so I know it sounds weird, but I would do it in the heart of winter because fruit's not great. And, you know, it's like eating raw is difficult in a climate like that. So what I was doing, I mean, and this is still when I was driving a truck at FedEx, I would, you know, just have my juices, and it kind of just gave me a clear mind and I didn't really focus on the weather. I would get cold, but I would just layer up, throw some cayenne pepper in my socks, and be on my way.
There's the winter juicing tip for anyone out there watching.
What's that?
That's the cayenne pepper, the winter juicing tip for all the people in a cold climate.
Yeah, actually, I've been doing a mix between the jalapenos and habaneros.
I did habanero in my last two juices.
So we've been making this. I keep forgetting to post it. I'll post everyone tomorrow morning my gazpacho recipe, but it's tomato juice and jalapenos and some parsley. So I'll put the ratios up, and I'll make a little video making that tomorrow for everyone. Yeah, no, I totally agree that the cayenne's a great tip.
I actually just had, like you were talking about the sugarcane juice. I just had one with cayenne and ginger, and wow, I mean, you can literally feel it go through you, especially when you're on a cleanse. You feel so light, but you could feel it literally warm my whole body within like 60 seconds. It was incredible.
That's really cool.
So tell us about the sugarcane juice. Some of the people on the feed may not have heard about your sugarcane juicing adventures lately. Tell us a little bit about sugarcane and some of the benefits.
Yeah, it's similar to wheatgrass. I mean, it's extremely high in minerals and nutrients, and it's got a lot of healing benefits. So 2 years ago, I was at the Hollywood Market out here in California, and I came across it, and people that were at the market were like, wow, you got to try this stuff. And I had never even heard of sugarcane juice. I've heard of sugarcane, and I didn't know you could actually juice it. And it was incredible. So now, since I've been in LA, I've been buying it, but it was really expensive if you buy it in the store. So I found the place where they actually sell it, and I went there and I got a little 3-day cleanse to end my cleanse. And I mean, it's incredible. They have one like with sugarcane, chlorophyll, and lime. And I mean, there's some of the most delicious tasting juices. I was just saying in my post today, I want to invest in a sugarcane juicer. It's incredible. So good. And it's healing to the body as well. It's great to filter out the kidneys. It's really regenerating to the liver. So, and it's good for your blood. I mean, it's a number of benefits.
So if you have access to that around you and you're on our 7-day Just Juice program, that is a perfect other juice for your afternoon. The nice thing about the sugarcane too is they'll give you a little boost. It has the natural sugar, and so it definitely gives you some energy. You know, when you get to day 3, day 4, day 5 of a fast, you start to notice a few more fluctuations in energy, I find, and that can really support you to get through the day. I especially love the idea of adding chlorophyll or having one that has chlorophyll and maybe some lemon and cayenne in it. That's awesome. What a fun combination. What's your favorite combination they have?
Probably the one with the cayenne and it's cayenne, lemon, ginger, and the sugar cane. It's incredible. It's all of them. The sugar cane is so delicious that any mixture you put with it, they have one which is coconut water and sugar cane, and it's just amazing. It's so delicious. It tastes. It's like, how could this be good for you? But I mean, I have a funny story. I actually bought sugar cane back when I was living in Chicago by the bundles for like $2 for a big bundle. And at the time I put it in my Breville juicer and it busted. I mean, I didn't know any better. I'm just like, oh, I guess you can't juice this. You need a specific. Actually, though, you know what the lady told me the owner told me that if you have a Green Star, if you cut it into 4s and shave it, you can juice sugar cane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I have tested it in the Green Star, and it does work in small batches. So if you're doing lots of it, I really don't recommend it. But adding a little bit to a juice, maybe you're already doing some celery, lemon, apple, and you want to add a little bit, then it'll be okay. It's not gonna.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. My Green Star is my baby. I don't want to mess with it.
So if you haven't checked out Jonny's channel yet and you're joining us, go on there. You can see where he shops. You can see what he does. He does a great job of kind of sharing the lifestyle with everybody. And you can see what he's putting in his Green Star every day. And he's giving away a Green Star this month, right? We're still open for that giveaway? People can still jump in on that, right?
Yeah, it's in 2 days. 2 days we're announcing. Oh no, actually tomorrow is day 10. Tomorrow's the last day. So we'll probably announce the winner on Friday.
Okay. You guys better jump on now. Get into that.
We've got people joining from all over the country here. I'm not seeing anyone from outside. We got Ohio, we got South Carolina, we got California, New York City. So we got some middle, we got 2 of the sides. But
so hey Jonny, what's your favorite juice?
My favorite juice is a green juice. I mean, it's as simple as a mean green. It's not kale. It's spinach, celery, cucumber, lemon, ginger, apple. It's basic. And what I always like to tell people is if you're going to be doing green juices daily, I like a base of celery and cucumber because it produces a lot of liquid, but rotate your greens, do dandelions, do parsley, do cilantro, do Swiss chard. I mean, there's so many different greens out there that you can try. Just be careful because there's some greens like arugula and mustard greens where I almost yacked because I put a little bit too much in and it's very bitter. So
yeah.
And those strong, spicy greens are really good for your liver, though. So if you can handle a little bit of them, man, get a little bit in there with some apple and some spinach and kale. That's an awesome combination. How fun. Yeah. Very cool. And you know what? You can grow those really easily. Like here in LA, a lot of those greens grow almost like weeds, right around. You can see them on the side of the freeway. I don't recommend picking those ones, but they are there if you take a close look.
So good on this.
Yeah, can I just say I love being in LA? I was at the gym today, and in between drinking my juices, I bought coconuts because I get coconuts fairly cheap out here too. And I poured coconut water in a mason jar. And when I was walking out of the gym, there was a lemon tree, and they were just like, hey, the lemons were just chilling there. So I'm like, wow. Grabbed a lemon, like kind of bit the peel and squeezed it in my coconut water, and wow, I mean, it just, talk about fresh. I mean, literally picking off a tree and squeezing it. I was like, I love California. You can't do that in Chicago this time of year.
No, and in Massachusetts this time of year, we can't even find organic celery.
Yeah, we went to 3 markets today, so I got a very cucumber heavy juice tomorrow.
It looks like you guys are gonna have to come join us in California.
Yeah, we're gonna do it
next year. We thought about it for this year, but we'll be out there in a month or 2. So.
Nice.
So one thing that I'm wondering about too, you mentioned you were working out and you've been working out while you've been juicing. And I know people are wondering about that. Should I continue with my daily activity? How much activity can I handle? Can you tell us about how that's played out for you over the years throughout your routines and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned like trial and error. 2 years ago, when I was on my 40-day fast, I like to play basketball. It's one of the activities that I still like to do. It's like my cardio. And I was playing a little bit too long, and I got very lightheaded to where I thought I was going to pass out. And I kind of was like, whoa, I kind of took a step back. So, but it's funny because now I know that I know how to manage that. Like I don't really limit my workouts too much, even though I know a fast is supposed to, it's about healing and giving your body a break. Like I was playing basketball last night for a little bit, but I kind of paced myself, and I know to have a juice on hand too, so I had a juice with me. So yeah, I definitely movement is very important when on a juice cleanse. And I'm not sure if you guys are pro colon health, hydrocolon therapy, enemas, any of that stuff, but I'm a big advocate for that. I had my mentor in Chicago put me onto it, and I think it's a game changer.
Yeah. I we talk about that a lot on the programs. The 7 Days Diet by Steve has a whole chapter on colon cleansing. So you can really enjoy that stuff. And I think it's encouraging to people for them to hear that that's something you've had benefit from.
Yeah, actually, in the more in-depth book, the Juice Fasting and Detoxification, there's a huge chapter. It talks a lot about do-it-yourselves and everything,
enema boards and everything. The whole deal.
I mean, and it's funny because when I first got into this, I was on a 21-day fast. This was 2 days into juicing, so I was already doing juice cleanses without doing any colon stuff at all. And my mentor, Karen, in Chicago, she has a wellness center with colonics, and she's like, I really recommend you doing a colonic while you're on your juice cleanse. And I'm like, what is that? And she's like, she told me what it was, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. But she eventually convinced me to do it. And I think I was on day 16 or day 17 of my 21-day cleanse. And, you know that sometimes you go through times when you're not pooping, So
yeah,
it was and I had already been 6 months raw now, 21, I think it was 17 days in. And I got a colonic done. And if you would have seen the stuff that came out, I was shocked. And that right there was when I opened my eyes to it. I'm like, wow, this is incredible, because it helps soften and dislodge all that, aged debris that just sits in there. And I felt better. My energy was better, like instantly. I probably lost a couple pounds. And I think it's very important. For sure.
Yeah, I would say that one of the things that my early mentors too all talked about was colon cleansing during flushes, because you're flushing stuff out. You don't want it to be hanging out in your digestive tract. And in the early days of juicing, that was absolutely part of it. We talked about it just as much as we talked about green juice. And I think things changed as juicing and juice cleanses became available at juice bars and all over the place. The importance of some of the elements of juice cleansing got a little bit lost because, there's no one really there to do that type of education. And so I think that's one of the things we're all excited about sharing here is like, look, yeah, we can talk about colon cleansing. We can talk about enemas. We can talk about all these things, and they're important to talk about.
It is. And I was just saying that on my Insta story the other day. I was talking about, I took a picture of my enema bag and I put it up there, and people were like, what is that? And that's nasty. And it's like, hey, if you're not in tune with your body, and you have to be comfortable with that. And I wanted to put that out there because we all could post our colorful fruits and vegetables, but that is just as important, clean the pipes.
Yeah, and I think anyone that's ever had issues with digestion and absorption in their body, especially, that's a really important healing benefit. When you're doing these cleanses, get in there and really get it all out. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, I got my mother on it. I got my father on it. I got my sister going. I have friends going. I mean, it's ridiculous. I would juice cleanse people at the gym. When I left the job a couple of years back, I was selling juices out of my house, and I was recommending them to a colon therapist close to my house that I was going to consistently. And I can tell making no money off it, but I probably had about 12 people going there, and they all said life changing. With combination of juicing, it's amazing. So
that's awesome. Well, I know the Sprout Brothers, you had a question for Jonny about sprouts, right? I know Ari was wondering, do you sprout?
Yeah.
Sprout? You asked the question.
Yeah, so you're pushing this raw food life. I mean, how important are sprouts in that?
I think sprouts are extremely important, and that's something my mentor is a big advocate on. Is sprouts. Unfortunately, I'm bad at it. I mean, it's not that I'm bad at it, but I haven't done it at all since I've been in California. And what's funny is I have the mason jar with the tops that's very, I mean, all you gotta do is throw the seeds in and you can, dump the water. So it's very easy to do. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I have jars I have alfalfa, I have broccoli, I have these onion, I don't know if you guys have seen them.
Nice.
But the onion garlic sprouts.
Oh, it's so good. I love those.
You throw those on a salad and it's game changing, right?
Oh man, the onion sprouts. I mean, it's like, so, our dad used to say that they're a little less potent in terms of smell, so you're not going to clear the room as quickly. But if you eat, a pound of onion sprouts, like I've been told, I'm still pretty pungent, but it doesn't matter. I love it. They're so good. I mean, I love onion sprouts.
But I mean, there's nothing better than sprouting. I mean, it's living food, and you're making it right there. It's fresh, and it's boom. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's definitely something I need to get better at. But
we're gonna help you out with that, Jonny.
Yeah,
Sprout Brothers got you covered.
I love it.
And also, if you have a Green Star juicer or another type of masticating juicer, you can easily juice sprouts. So when you're getting to the end, you haven't used them all in your salads, maybe those onions got a little bit too pungent for you, you can actually juice them right into your green juice. So it's a nice add-in for the people that are cleansing. If you have sprouts around, juice them up and start sprouting now for the end of the cleanse, because it's coming up and it's a great living food to have in your daily diet. Huge impact from one little thing.
Right, and it only takes 4 or 5 days or something. When I was living in Chicago, I had my neighbor, which I was shocked. He gave me this tray, and he's like, "Hey, do you want some sprouts?" And I'm like, "Sure." And he's like, he watered them, and he's like, "Here, just put them in the house." And they literally grew, and that's what I did. I juiced them. I was in the middle of a juice cleanse, and I juiced them all because I'm like, I'm not eating them, and I don't want them to be bad, so I cut them and just threw them all in the Green Star.
What's totally cool about juicing sprouts too is that you're taking that super concentrated vegetable and you're super concentrating again by putting it through the juicer. So that's my favorite thing. I mean, talk about a medicinal compound coming out of the juicer. That's serious stuff.
So yesterday, Jonny, we talked a little bit on our program about adding superfoods into juices, and I wanted to mention today, a couple people asked in our forum about CBDs. So I'm wondering what types of things you like to add to your juices that aren't maybe going through the juicer, but are being added in after your juicing process.
Yeah, well, when I'm not juice cleansing, I add a lot of different things, actually. I mean, I do spirulina. I'm a big fan of spirulina. I do hemp seeds. Again, when I'm not juice cleansing, hemp seeds almost like every other day. I do CBD sometimes, but I don't put them in my juices. I just put it under my tongue. What else do I do? I have barley grass. I mean, I have so many different supplements that I should be doing, but I always stick with the same things that I just love, which spirulina is my favorite by far. I love that stuff. Like, I can feel a boost from it. I did actually like a little experiment last July, where I took it every day, the Nutrix brand, every day for 30 days. And I felt stronger. I felt more energy. I felt my breathing, everything. I literally felt it. I was like, because I had heard such good things about it. I'm like, let me just try it every day. I was putting it in my juice. I was putting it in my salads. So.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's so oxygenating for your blood, and the chlorophyll works to just, nourish you at such a core cellular level. Spirulina, you could live off that, keep it in your supply closet for, earthquake supply. Now that you're out here in California, you got to think about those things. Yeah. No, but truthfully, we've loved to share these things because I think we all find common things that work for us. And it's important for people to hear, hey, that works for them, might work for me too. And for someone like yourself who's been juicing now consistently for 5 years, what can you share that will inspire or maybe help people understand how they can really develop out the lifestyle and keep it a part of their life for, years to come instead of just this week or next week or even the first few months of this year?
You're saying as far as juicing goes?
Yeah.
So this is a great example that I like to tell all the time. So my mother, right, she was diagnosed, she had a heart attack years back. And she had seen how much this lifestyle has changed my life and how much of a juicing advocate I was. And before, she had gone to the Mayo Clinic and they wanted to cut her open and, do open heart surgery. And she came back, and I'll never forget, it was the day after my grandfather's birthday. And I go, we're going to start you juicing. We got the Breville, and I'm like, every day, just do this for a month. Believe in it. Just do it for a month consistently. Try to do between 24 ounces and 30 ounces. And also try to eliminate, red meat out of your diet. And she did that for a month. And I didn't check in with her. I was checking in with her, but then after the month, I kind of just like let it go. And then I'm like, hey, how did it go? And she was like, I'm still doing it. I feel great. I have energy. And over time, I mean, this long story short, she got off her last heart medication. She was on 7 pills. It was her cholesterol pill last year. So she completely reversed her heart disease. And through juicing, she used it as a tool to not only go vegetarian, but now go vegan. And she eats a lot of plant-based. She does recipes and completely reversed her heart disease, med-free. I mean, it's like, if that's not enough testimony to say, hey, it's a perfect starting tool for you. I'm not telling you to go eat a big bowl of salad with, that's really bland with no dressing. Just start juicing. It's a great way, especially if you're sick, if you're terminally ill, like you said, digestion. It gives your digestive system a break, and that's where a lot of our ailments start. So you could just rapidly absorb and flood your body with all these, all these beautiful nutrients that we're not getting on a day-to-day basis. And I just think it's so powerful, and you just got to believe in it. There's so many people I know that I've turned on to it that it's like, yeah, I had a juice from a juice bar last week, and I don't really feel it. It's like, well, you have to do it every day. Try it, just like you'll take a multivitamin every day. Do it every day. Incorporate a juice every day and see how you feel after 21 days or a month.
Right.
Game changer.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because that's a real powerful truth, I think. Juicing is one of the fastest ways to reduce inflammation in your body, to alkalize your system, and to create balance almost right away. But if you're not doing it regularly, you're not getting the compounded benefits of the day-to-day experience. I think that's so huge when it comes to vitality and really living well.
Right. And the funny thing is when I used to work at FedEx, when I used to drive a truck, when I first started doing it, everybody's like, oh, this guy's drinking the swamp juice again. Well, what happened over time is they saw how much energy I had and how I had lost like 70 pounds. And I was just like bouncing off the walls every day. And I always had my mason jar with me. And people would start coming to me and they're like, hey, man, I have a sore throat. Can you bring me a juice for the sore throat? And it's like, well, at this point, it's not really going to do any better than whatever you're taking, because the point is doing it to build your immune system so you don't get sick. It's not, you're already sick. What's the juice going to do for you? You know what I mean? It might alleviate some symptoms, but you want to do it every day for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think bolstering your immune system right now is an important time of the year to do it. And, sometimes it seems a little counterintuitive to cleanse when it's cold and kind of dormant, but it is actually a very natural time to cleanse too, because we're, slowing down. The winter days are shorter and our body kind of wants to stay in and just be, more relaxed than we are in the spring and summer when there's lots more sunshine and things like that. And it is, cold and flu season. So this is better than any flu shot. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that live on TV, but it really is. And, one of the things that you can do for your body throughout the year is do a juice cleanse like the one we're doing on the 7-day juice diet, the 3 days that Jonny's mentioned. He's got some great 10-day programs and other things that he hosts throughout the year. All of these things are the best preventative medicine that you can find. And, knock on wood, in 20 years of juice fasting, I have been sick very, very few times. And I absolutely believe it's from the flood of nutrients that I get every day when juicing and enjoying raw foods.
Totally. Can I ask you a question? I thought you said you were in California. Why are you wearing that big jacket?
It is so cold in the TriBest Test Kitchen. And thank you for asking, because when I juice cleanse, I get really cold. So I tend to just, run a little bit chilly already. So I tried to take it off for this live because I thought, well, I can just show you this big old giant jacket, but I am really cold. And I am, what was that?
So you're right. My hands and my feet get cold when I'm on cleanses, but it's been good here. I mean, today was what, 70 out here? It wasn't bad. I was in shorts and I'm like, wait, she's in California?
That's wonderful. I think it helps you're a transplant though, Jonny.
That's true. Yeah. I think you definitely appreciate the weather we have here when you've been, here from somewhere cooler, for sure. But it is a very real thing. You know, I add cayenne pepper to my juices. I add serrano and jalapeno to my juices and ginger every day just because I know it helps me stay a little bit on the warmer side. And, you know, for me, that's always been something I've struggled with. So, but, you know, I love it. It makes me feel so good. So it's worth every part of, you know, the adjustment that goes on. And, you know, day 3, you get a little bit of that healing crisis sometimes in your body. And it doesn't matter how clean your diet is, you know, after living raw for a number of years, I, you know, did more cleanses and I thought, well, really, what else is there to get out? And similar to you know, I do this flush and I'm amazed at what's coming out of my body. And you realize that there's just so many layers. So it's an important part of everyday maintenance. And we live in such a toxic world, unfortunately. You know, we come in contact with something like 180 toxins every day outside of what we eat. You know, so it's really incredible, and this is such an important path to healing. Absolutely. I know the Sprout Brothers may have had 1 or 2 more questions for you. We're going to do a couple more questions, and anybody on the feed that has a question, please go ahead and put them in now. We're going to wrap up here pretty soon.
We did get one question.
We have a couple questions there.
Before we go there, Jenny, you're not alone. Monique is freezing too, and Vanessa has on 2 sweaters. So
yeah,
they're California girls too.
And we also, so we have Monique had a question about, she said she may have missed this, but what's a good basic daily juice regimen? Like 1 to 2 basic juices that she can make for her and her husband. He's on the road for work daily, just to keep them going. And
to keep going after the fast.
Yeah, to keep going after the fast, yeah. So, I mean, I try to do much like what Jonny was saying. I try to keep up my juice fasting regimen throughout the year, and I'll make the green juice. And one of the things I like to do when I work out is just drink a little bit of fresh squeezed orange juice. Like I'll make 1 or 2 oranges, and that'll be, you know, a great lift while I'm working. Yeah, and so when I'm going to the gym, I'll bring some orange juice, and I make my green juices, and I carry them around in my mason jars. Like, that resonates a lot with me, man. What you're doing. But yeah, since you're the star tonight, do you wanna take it away?
Well, like I said, I think a regular green juice is perfect. You know, just as simple. If it's kale, celery, lemon, ginger, apple is perfect just to start. If it's too much, simple carrot juice, a celery juice is extremely gut healing. And it's not very palatable at first, but I think you develop, you know, it's okay over time. But yeah, it's just a simple green juice. I mean, even something like a cucumber, lemon, apple, and ginger is perfect. You know, it's just something simple just to get them going, just to get them in the routine of drinking it every day. You know? And like I was talking about with coconuts too, that's what I use to sweeten it. I'll crack a coconut, and I don't recommend people buying coconut water boxed or, you know, whatever packaged in the stores. Try to find it at an Asian mart and get a coconut and crack it open and pour it in there. And I'm telling you, it sweetens the juice so good. I mean, it doesn't matter how bitter I've made greens sometimes. The coconut water is perfect.
And I would agree with you, Jonny, because the green juice is something like if you have to eat that many nutrients, like via a salad, you know, what we juice into a juice, it's, you know, sometimes could be 4 or 5 pounds of produce. You can't be, you know, eating that every day. So, you know, Monique, you know, when you're juicing for you and your husband and you really want to get all those nutrients into his body, I think the green juice is the most powerful. And, you know, vegetables are absolutely building in the body. So if you add a little bit of citrus, you get a little bit of a cleanser and then all those building blocks. And, you know, that's really going to help nourish him throughout the day and give him extra energy and support to get through his day. Those minerals are super important for you. You know, females, we have a very advanced reproductive system, and it absolutely relies on minerals to really get us through the day. So that's a really important one. So green juice fits so many different categories that if, you know, you have to pick one every day, I think that is absolutely the most important, like you're mentioning. And it can be simple. It doesn't have to be super advanced.
Right, totally. But you're absolutely right. I mean, we're living in this time where we're so busy and stuff, and you can't sit there like gorillas and just eat greens all day like we want, you know. So that's why. Greens
so Vanessa asks, is pineapple too much every day with moringa?
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
So delicious. Probably a little much, but you know, if it gets you juicing, then you can add it and slowly cut back on the pineapple, and that would be a great recipe with pineapple is you know, a pineapple, lemon, a little bit of mint, and that's just an apple. It's like, but so sweet, but it's like candy. But like we briefly opened a juice bar, and that was a hit with that with our group, with our clientele.
So,
what do you think, Jonny? What do you think about pineapple juice?
I agree exactly with what he said. Like, use it as a start, but you definitely want to kick back on that a little bit. Again, green juice, when you're drinking a green juice, like what I started sweetening with before an apple was actually pineapple, and that's incredible too. It's really, I like it way better than apple or any other sweetener besides coconut water. But I would definitely start with it if that's what gets you starting juicing, and then kind of kick back. You don't want to be drinking pineapple juice today.
Well, and pineapple's got some extra enzymes, so if you have digestive challenges, trying that in your green juice actually can help you get started in a more powerful way. But not, use juicing the whole pineapple. You just need a little bit. Maybe 4 ounces of pineapple juice at a time would be a serving size that your body can actively use the sugars, but it's not going to give you so much sugar that it really spikes your blood sugar and causes you, a headache or anything that might go along like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So Julie asks how long these videos will stay up. They are going to be up forever, as long as YouTube exists. So plenty of time there. Thank you from Monique, and Vanessa says, got it.
Well, I just really want to thank you so much for being here with us today, Jonny. This has been a journey we've been sharing, with hundreds of people worldwide, and having you on here today, I think is going to inspire so many people. And, if you're joining and you're not part of the 7-day worldwide Just Juice program, it's a free program that the Sprout Brothers and I offer every year in honor of our dear friend Steve Meyerowitz, who put lots of energy and effort into creating a really balanced juicing program. It's the reason that I advocate this program, is it really hits all the marks as far as juicing programs go, especially if you're going to be juicing for more than 3 days. You really want a balanced program that's going to carry you through. So, we love to share this information with you. Feel free to jump onto 7dayjustjuicediet.com, and we can still send you out those materials, and you can get started right now. You can go the next 7 days, and you're not missing out on anything. And before we head off, Jonny, just really want to say you've inspired me. I'm going to try that sugarcane juice, and I'm going to, just remember that sometimes simplicity is all that you need. It's easy to get overcomplicated in this world. So thank you for the reminders of how simple it can be.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I mean, this is amazing. I love anytime I can share. I mean, obviously we're all passionate about this, right? Anytime I can get this out, I think it's a great thing.
So Jonny, how should people connect with you? I know you have some live events going on. I know that your mentor, Karen, and you have been working on different programs, and I know that, you're going to be flying out to Arkansas next week. You're all over the world. How can people connect with you and dive a little deeper?
So yeah, I mean, Instagram is my main platform that I do everything. I put all my energy, most of my energy there. I do answer messages, but I also answer almost all my emails on my website. So if you go to my website, jonnyjuicer.com, on the contact, I usually get that to everybody. So, but besides that, yeah, Instagram's my main platform. I always keep up to date if I'm doing events, if I'm going to be in town, if I'm doing a fruit luck or whatever it is. So,
what's your next upcoming event, Jonny?
So it's Friday this weekend. Actually, I'll be in Arkansas, and we're doing a plant-based panel with a few other guys, a vegan, a pro bodybuilder, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Badass Vegan, Doms Thompson, and Tori Washington. Those guys, I've been doing panels with them over the last year and a half, and they're just incredible. They're a book of knowledge, and we all have like different dynamics, because I'm like the raw foodie, you got the athlete, you got the bodybuilder. So it's great, and I love the energy we bring, and I think that all of the events we do are very informative, and people leave very happy. So
that's wonderful.
That sounds like an amazing event. I might fly out to Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of cities, and we want to keep growing on it. We're actually going to be doing one in the end of LA, or end of the month in LA here. I think in the 24th or the 25th at All Lock downtown LA. So. Yeah, we're trying to do like 1 or 2 a month.
Very good. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to jump off. If you're joining us for the 7-day Just Juice diet, remember we're live on Friday. We're wrapping up the week, and then we'll be back on Monday to kick you off into some awesome raw foods and sprouting and all the other things you can add to these juicy juices to keep you going throughout the year. And we'll say goodbye now. Thanks again, Jonny. Appreciate it so much.
Thanks for being here and sharing with us tonight.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Okay, take care, everyone.